Hooves on the Roof by just a random Pegasus. Sweetie Belle twisted and turned under her covers, dreaming about snow and happiness. It was her swarming eve, the hardest night of the year for young fillies and colts to sleep because of excitement. The next day they would awake to find presents under their tree, which were placed there by none other than Santa Hooves. Joyous times with their families would follow soon after, making her swarming a very nice day. Luckily, Sweetie Belle drifted off to sleep right when she tucked herself in. Going to the hearth-warming pageant tired her out. She was probably the only pony in town who easily fell asleep. Even so, the thoughts of a sleigh pulled through the air by 9 flying reindeer, the one at the lead with a shiny red nose, was happily flying its way into her dreams, the pony maneuvering the sleigh none other than Santa Hooves. The sleigh landed on a roof in her dream, making a clip-clop sound. It then came again. And again. Sweetie Belle woke up from her happy dream and twitched her ears. The sounds in her dream seemed very loud. She looked up to the roof and heard one last clip-clop followed by a thud. Sweetie pulled her covers over her face, startled by the noise. She soon looked around the room and yawned. "Am I dreaming?" she asked, confused. She slapped herself. "Ow!" she yelped, trying to shake the pain out of the hoof she slapped. Now that she was awake, maybe get some water? She immediately dismissed that thought. No, Santa Hooves was here. Wait. Santa Hooves? Her tired brain processed it all. The noise on her roof was Santa. It had to be. What else could land on a roof and make such a loud thud? She brightly smiled as she jumped up from her bed, bouncing around the room. Santa was here! Oh, the urge to creep downstairs and see what was being placed under the hearth-warming tree. Hopefully she got what she wanted. A new sled big enough for 3 ponies to sit in. This year she wanted to go sledding with the Crusaders, and wanted a large sled for all 3 to sit in. She smiled at the thought of the 3 going down the sledding hill together on one huge sled. She heard the sound of a few more hoofsteps on the roof, which were probably from the reindeer shuffling. Sweetie listened to the soft rhythm of hooves before getting a huge grin. She could see the reindeer if she wanted to, in person! The smile stayed on her face as she pulled down a cord that was on the ceiling of her room. Stairs flew down, leaving a passageway to the top of the roof. There was a round sitting area there, and Sweetie Belle had an entrance to it from the top of her room. She felt her knees tremble as she climbed the wooden stairs. The thought of actually seeing a sleigh on a roof made her really happy, but nervous as well. What if Santa said she wasn't allowed to see a sleigh? The thought of leaving a bad impression on Santa caused her heart to sink. He could give her coal next year if she broke his policies. She shook it off. Santa would be fine with it. She could just touch Rudolph's red nose like she always wanted to and bound back to her room. It seemed like a good plan. She soon reached the outside and felt the cold winter breeze. Snow flew in her face, causing her to be even colder. She loved the snow, though. It made hills sleddable, and gave snow days to fillies and colts who didn't want to go to school for the day. Snow days were one of Sweetie Belle's favorite things about winter. She could hang out with her friends and play in the snow all day. She looked around the roof and felt her jaw drop when she saw it. The sleigh! 9 reindeer were harnessed to it with red velvet reins. Beautiful, shining, jingling bells were attached to the reins. Sweetie Belle felt herself unable to move. She had wanted to see it all her life, and now she had finally seen it. After a few seconds, she walked down the slanted roof towards the sled. She deducted that the sleigh must have some sort of magic to sit still on a slanted roof like her own. She approached the sled cautiously, not wanting to scare the reindeer. She finally made it in front of Rudolph, who stared down at her. Oh, how she wished she was Fluttershy. Fluttershy would easily be able to touch the nose of a reindeer. "Hi, Rudolph," Sweetie Belle greeted, sticking out her hoof. The red-nosed reindeer kept looking at her as she gave his nose a small touch. He flung his head up, a little shocked by the sudden touch of the filly. She smiled at the reindeer, who was still looking away. After a few seconds of silence, she heard the sound of snow boots on the roof, coming closer. She turned around to see who it was. When she caught sight, her jaw dropped. There stood a red, portly stallion with a white beard, mane, and tail. He also had a red coat and hat. It was Santa Hooves himself! Sweetie awkwardly stepped away from the reindeer, looking at him in shock. Santa let out a chuckle before walking closer. "And what must you be doing out here, little one?" he asked, his voice nice and caring. Sweetie's ears folded back. She knew she had to tell the truth. "Well, I heard your sleigh land on my roof, and I wanted to see a reindeer, and touch Rudolph's nose." She then looked down. "I'm sorry." After a moment of silence, Santa chuckled again. "Don't be sorry. You're definitely not the first one." Sweetie looked up at him, her eyes wide. "Really?" He nodded, giving a nice smile. "Of course." He then paused and walked towards the sleigh. "You're Sweetie Belle, right?" Sweetie Belle quickly nodded in response. "Yep." Santa ruffled through a small bag on his seat. He then took out a candy cane and gave it to Sweetie Belle. Happy housewarming, Sweetie Belle. She smiled at the peppermint stick in her hooves. She then looked back up to Santa. Thanks, happy housewarming, she responded as Santa climbed back into his sleigh, taking the reins in his hooves. Be a good filly, I'll be by next housewarming, he replied, abruptly moving the reins to get the reindeer to lift off the roof. Rudolph's nose lit up, basking the area around in a nice red glow. The reindeer started forward and eventually jumped into the snowy skies, carrying the sleigh. The sleigh was soon a good distance away, landing on the roof of the next house. Sweetie smiled as she looked into the night, putting her candy cane into her mouth. Oh, I wonder what this could be, Sweetie remarked, holding up a rather large present. It was her swarming morning, and herself and Rarity were unwrapping their presents. I'm not sure. Santa Hooves brought it, Rarity responded as Sweetie tore it open, smiling brightly. Oh my gosh, it's the sled I wanted, she said, bouncing around the room. Rarity smiled as she picked up a beautifully wrapped present under the tree. There's one for me, Sweetie, Rarity said as Sweetie eagerly took it. Sweetie opened the pretty wrapping paper to find a box. She opened it to find very soft boots. It said CMC in pretty font on the front, and had Sweetie's cutie mark on the back. She looked at the boots in awe, and then looked back to Rarity. How did you get these? She asked, slipping them on her hooves. I made them myself. Do you like them? Sweetie responded by hugging her older sister. I love them! Thank you so much! Rarity hugged her back and smiled. You're welcome, Sweetie Belle. Hello everyone, this is Godzilla with One, and that was Hooves on the Roof by Just a Random Pegasus. First off, sorry for no video last week. My entire household got sick, even our dog, so that caused problems, and I'm really sorry. I meant to do this once a week, but life happened. That's all I can say. But enough about me. You're here for the story. If there's one word to describe the story, it's cute. Sweet Belle is just adorable. And that's really why I chose this particular story. Sweet Belle's just a little child who wants to see Santa Hooves. And, boop, Rudolph's nose. That's just a classic thing most children want to do. Well, maybe minus the Rudolph part, but, probably a bunch of people wanted to do that. And, of course, this being Equestria, Santa Hooves doesn't disappoint her. It's just got this feeling of childlike whimsy that's a perfect fit for the holiday. And then there's the ending, where we get to see Rarity and Sweetie enjoying her swarming morning together and exchange gifts. It's not the main focus of the story, but it's still adorable. And Rarity's gift is both extremely sweet and totally Rarity. Not to mention, Sweetie's gift is a selfless one. Something all three Crusaders can enjoy together. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Hooves on the Roof. Please put yours in the comments below. This has been Godzilla with One. Like, comment, and subscribe, and click that bell down there to make sure you get my updates, because YouTube. See you guys next time. Bye! I still don't have a catchphrase.